Hello, everyone. This is going to be a short video that covers section 4 or 5 in our curriculum, and it is on systems of linear inequalities. This will be very similar to just graphing a singular inequality, but this time we are going to be graphing two inequalities at the same time. See over here on the left-hand side, I already have some steps listed out for us, but in order to get started, we would need an example to do. So we are going to graph the inequalities or the system of inequalities, which is y is less than 1/2 x minus 3. And then the other one is going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 3x plus 4. Now, this is extremely similar to what we have been doing with graphing singular linear inequalities. We're just going to look at one at a time. So we're going to start with this red one that I have, and I'm going to identify the y-intercept and the slope. So I'm going to plot that y-intercept, and I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 2. But I'm not going to connect these with a line quite yet because I have to do some thinking. I am using the inequality less than, which means it will not be a solid line. It will be a dashed line. The next thing I'm going to think about is how I would shade this. So if this was just by itself, I would think about, well, less than means I am going to shade below the line. I'm going to use a highlighter for this just so it's a little bit easier to shade all that space in. So this would be below that line. Now, the only difference between what we were doing and what we're doing now is we are going to do that all over again. So I'm going to do that exact same thing, but I'm going to do it with my blue line. So my y-intercept is 4 for this line, and my slope is negative 3 over 1. So I start at a positive 4, and then I'm going to go down 1 and or down 3 into the right one. Now, these lines happen to cross at a nice spot, but I don't particularly care about where their lines cross themselves. It's going to be more about something else in just a second. So now I have to think about the fact that I have a greater than or a more than or equal to symbol. So that means I'm going to be using a solid line. When we have equal to, that means we have solutions on that line. And if it's greater than, that means I'm going to shade above the line. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because above the line is kind of hard to tell, right? So what I usually do when it's a really steep line is I'll look at that blue y-intercept right here, and I'm going to start above that, right? So that kind of helps me guide above and below. So I'm going to shade on this side of that blue line. Now, you'll probably notice that we have some overlap. That overlapping region is, in fact, our solution region where all of the solutions are at. So any point in this area would be a solution to both of those inequalities. If I just looked at the orange region, it's only going to work for the blue line. If I just looked at the yellow region, it's only going to work for the red line. But in this big scribbly mess that I have here, those are points that work for both lines. As a reminder, solutions are going to be in the shaded region or on solid lines. So technically, this point right here would actually be a solution to the system because it is a boundary of the overlapping region and it's on a solid line. But this point would not be because it is on a dashed line. I hope that helps. There's plenty of more examples where that came from. So if you have questions, let us know. Have a great day.